seat so we can start the service. Make sure you have a green hymnal because we're going to sing some Christmas songs tonight. Welcome everybody to the People's Church of the Divine Prophecy Sunday service. Thank you all for choosing to spend part of your holidays here. I'd like you to, a couple of housekeeping rules, please silence your cell phones unless you're medical or law enforcement personnel. Restrooms are down the hall, that way, keep going and we'll eventually run into them. Cold drinks in the fridge, hot drinks on the table, some snacks back there. Somebody brought a whole bunch of Christmas cookies. And we have blessed them and removed all the calories from them. Help yourself.
Good for you.
I'd like to have Reverend Steve light the candles symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit to start the service. Please stand for the invocation or remain standing for the first hymn. Join me in an attitude of prayer. Dear Father God, may we feel the peace and joy that this time of year is a reminder of. May we feel it the world over joining in, making it feel more whole, more joyous than it is. May we feel this happiness and hope, express it to those around us, and multiply it as we feel it. Let us not judge it or try to amend it, only feel it and let it flow naturally, hopefully, tough. Amen.
Amen.
Let's do Joy to the World. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare Him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the Savior brings. Let men their songs employ, while fields and floods, rock hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of His righteousness, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love.
Please be seated. Next portion is a thought for the day from the pastor. I'll just make a short mention of Christmas because it is coming up. There's a lot of feelings, good and negative, about that. How many times have y'all been asked if you're ready for Christmas? You feel after about the 20th time, you feel like going, pow! But the thought of Christmas, some people say it's a Christian holiday and don't celebrate it. It's actually, as I said in the prayer, it's a time of memory for peace and happiness worldwide. It's not just celebrating Jesus' birthday. It's celebrating the joy and goodwill to all others on the earth is what the Spirit is. So just at least embrace that spirit of it going forward. is sometimes a joyous time of year, sometimes a difficult time of year. My father, my stepfather passed away on Christmas Eve, and we were very close. And he was dying of pancreatic cancer, so it was a long, hard illness. And I guess it was, in a way, a Christmas present for him to move on. So, and I'm sure other people have, and it's not a sad memory, it's a good memory because we talked about it quite a bit. What I like to talk about as a thought for the day is, and it'll kind of segue into my lecture, is you ask for spiritual guidance. You ask for it, you sit and you listen to it, and when you finally get it, you practice it and wait for it, and you act like it's, you act like it's a reward or something's going to magically happen because you've asked for it. The spiritual gifts come within the perspective of eternity. They don't come within my perspective and my need right now. Usually we ask for something, you get this impression to do this, that, and that. So you do this, that, and that. You wait about a week and you go, gee, where's what I asked for? It didn't happen yet. You wait another week and this, that, and that doesn't happen. And you look at Spirit and say, hey, I'm doing everything you told me to do. I've done it for 2 whole weeks, And I kept doing that, and finally one day I just stopped, and I felt a calm come over me. And actually what has to happen before the outer manifestation occurs that you've asked for is the inner part of you has to change. You have to change an attitude, you have to change an intention, you have to actually have that interior spiritual awakening prior to that manifesting outward. And I mean, we all know that, we've heard that, but when we're asking, we forget that. I do anyway. So, we tend to rush forward. We can make things happen in the physical if we want to, but they're temporary. We can force things to happen the way we want them to, but again, they're temporary because there's not that spiritual change that goes on with you to embrace that which you need to carry forward into eternity. Anytime you ask for something from Spirit, that's the perspective that's given it. What you will carry forward into eternity, not what fixes you today or fixes you next week. It's an eternal change. So it takes a little time sometimes for that to happen. And you should feel a calm inwardly and a knowing and a faith and trust in what you're told to do. So like I said last week, understanding follows forgiveness. It doesn't precede it. You do the act on faith, and the understanding follows. And spiritual principles are the same way. You just have to be patient and wait for that inner change to feel it. That it's not this blinding light. It's just a gentle calm that you feel where you shift it a little bit. It's not a huge shift. It's a little bit of a shift. And just a little bit more calm that comes with it. I ask you to think of these things as you move forward to the holiday spirit. And get those urgings from Spirit and begin to employ them. Give them time to work because they're working from that perspective of eternity, not next week. Thank you for listening. Ask him to take the rest of the service, but I've got a couple more things I'm doing today to chair the service.
Good morning.
Morning.
Our service is comprised of 3 parts. First is the healing and the meditation. Second is the inspirational lecture. And last portion of the service is the demonstration of spiritual gifts. So we will begin with the first portion of the service, which is the healing. I would like to ask the healers, Judy and Linda. They are assigned today to do hands-on healing. Those who would like to receive hands-on healing can go to those chairs. I will be doing the guided meditation. We also have reserved chairs in the back. You can wait in those chairs. And when you hear the sound of this bell chime, that indicates the chair has become available for you to receive healings. Let's all turn to the back of the yellow hymns for prayer for spiritual healing. Let us read it together. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. So get ready for the meditation. Find a comfortable position to sit. Feet straight on the floor, palms up in your lap. You may close your eyes. And take in a deep breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Take in another deep breath. Breathe in. And with your exhale, let go if there is any tension in your physical body. If you are experiencing any aches, any pains, just breathe it out with your breath. Let go of the thoughts that are occupying your mind. If you have any worries, any concern, again with your breath, just breathe it out. Let it go for now. Bring your focus and your awareness to your breath. Connect with the rhythm of your breath. While you breathe in and out, feel your breath flowing throughout your entire body, from head to toe. Just follow the motion of your breath. Follow your breath that is taking you deeper and deeper within yourself to a very peaceful and quiet presence. That feels calm, tranquil, and soothing. Connect with this peaceful presence. While you breathe, repeat to yourself gently, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. With each inhale and exhale, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. beautiful sensations flowing along with your breath. Embrace this peaceful state of your consciousness. This is the true state of your being. Embrace this peaceful aspect of your being. And be still. Just be still with it. For it is in this stillness that you sense wholeness. It is in the silence and the quietness you feel content. Content with who you are. You are infinite and perfect being. Embrace your wholeness and your divinity and just be. Be in this stillness. And experience inner peace, joy. Breathe in and breathe out. And feel this peaceful energy that is flowing from within and without. Feel the motion and become one with it. Feel your spirit dancing with this peaceful energy, with tranquility. I am at peace with and with my surroundings. Now feel your awareness shifting higher, slowly, higher to your forehead. And become aware of your spirit eye, your third eye in the center of your forehead. And as you look through your third eye, envision the higher dimensions of the universe. You will notice a beautiful portal opening up within the cosmic realms. A beautiful portal. As it opens up, you will see cosmic energies in a form of pure crystal, clear, white energies flowing and pouring into your forehead. See this beautiful energy flooding in and around your forehead, above your forehead, healing and clearing your mental body, clearing the beliefs, the thoughts, all the structures, negativity. Feel this energy cleansing the mental body, washing away like a pure crystal water. Feel this beautiful crystal energy, clear, white, moving gently down, running throughout your entire body, touching every single organ in your physical body, healing, clearing. Feel the energy that is moving gently all the way down to your feet. As you look up again to the crown of your head, you will notice a beautiful, beautiful diamond crystal sitting at the top of your head. Signifying the birth of the new, celebrating the new beginning, the new birthing of a consciousness, of an awareness within your soul and spirit. See this beautiful diamond projecting, amplifying crystal rays around you, within you, filling your entire aura with shimmering diamonds, stars. See yourself as a beautiful crystal being of light. See yourself shining like a brilliant diamond, opening up to new realities, new creativities, to a new consciousness. Experience your infinity and the brilliance and the brightness of your soul that is pure and perfect. Embrace your divinity. Celebrate the new you. Experience the beauty of your spirit, of your consciousness that is infinite, unlimited. Feel your connection with the universe, with the cosmos, and the dimensions within the dimensions of light. Feel your connection with this entire beautiful creation, and you as part of this beauty. See the beauty of your spirit reflecting from within and without. while you are open to receive. Experience the infinite abundance, the prosperity that is always part of you. It is your divine right. You are an abundant divine being. You are a child of God, a part of the whole. Celebrate your infinity that is not limited to any reality. You have the power to create your reality. Ask and you shall receive. For the divine abundance is within you always. Just become aware of that reality. And give gratitude for who you are. For you are an infinite being, a multi-dimensional being, a crystalline child of God. See the diamond above your head, sparkling and shining brighter. For it is the gift of the universal spirit. See the beauty of your spirit. And let this vision integrate deep into your consciousness. That light is always within you. See that light ignited within your soul, your spirit. And know that you are the light of God that never fails. See yourself as a brilliant diamond floating your spirit fulfilled, energized, refreshed, renewed. As you start gently coming back, allow your cosmic gifts to unfold to any reality that you tap into in the physical plane, the earth plane. Just anchor those cosmic energies wherever you are, whatever you do. Just be the light, the bright diamond that you are. Feel your breath slowly bringing you back. Back to your physical body, engage with your physical senses. Become aware of your feet, your hands. Just ground those energies down here in this physical reality. When you're ready, you can open your eyes slowly. Come back to the here and now. Just let these vibrations settle down slowly. please stand up for the next hymn. Make sure you're grounded.
He requested number 9, I'll Fly Away. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life have fallen, I'll fly away. Like a bird blown, driven by the storm, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a land where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away.
Thank you. Please be seated. Next portion of our service is the inspirational lecture. Speaker for today is our pastor, Reverend Steve Adkins. He is an ordained minister, medium, healer, teacher, and lecturer. He is the founder of this church, People's Church of Divine Prophecy, and he serves as the pastor, which meets every Sunday morning right here at 11 o'clock. He has been a spiritual worker for the past 25, 30 years by now, and he has worked in the UK and US demonstrating evidential spiritual existence and performing physical healings. Please help me welcome our pastor, Reverend Steve Adkins.
Still morning for another 15 minutes, so good morning, everybody. I want to speak today about having a true spiritual experience. How do you know when you're having one? How do you know what one is? The thing that I have, it's funny because I have this on my cubicle at work. It's a picture of a stork swallowing a frog by its head first. And the frog's reaching out, choking the stork right below where he's trying to swallow him, and the caption's "Never give up." And that's how spiritual endeavors are. You know, you have to stay at it. You have to never give up and never back off. There's always hope for something to happen with you spiritually. The other thing about that is we all kind of look out there and wonder when the Spirit's going to come to us, or when we're going to be able to start being in touch with that part of the world. Well, guess what? It's within you all the time. It's right within here. You're as spiritual a being now as you will ever be for all of eternity. And you're going, oh God, I hope it gets easier than this. But that's the deal. The spiritual universe is within. It's not spiritual attunement. It's awakening to that part of you that's constantly running side by side with that human part of you. Now, there's a little bit of a joke there. I think God definitely has a sense of humor because he gives us this body that's driven by billions of years of genetic and cellular memory and instincts of survival. And then we've got these spiritual principles that come in that are almost diametrically opposed to those very instincts of survival and keeping yourself together. It tells you interesting things like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Well, the instincts say, take care of yourself first, grab everything you can grab and hang on to it for dear life. That's what the instincts say. It doesn't say look out for the next part, the person next to you. But there's also a tempering with that, giving to others. Jesus said in the Bible, if you have 2 coats, give one away. He didn't say give them both away and I'll make sure you get another one. You have to kind of take care of yourself with your own sense about yourself. You don't ever give away that which you need to survive and exist. You have to honor the blessings that are given to you and share the excess. That's how Spirit works. Not give away everything you got every time you get it, and God's going to keep pouring it down on you, because that's just not how it works. When we relax our minds and try to go within, we're battling, we're saying, hey Spirit, come on guides, let me see you clearly. And you're inviting them down into this world of emotion, chaos, and heaviness. They're up there having a great time in the spirit realm. You're going, hey, come on down here. They're going, what? What? You sure about that? Kind of like the guy hanging by the cliff by a branch, and he goes, God, I haven't ever believed in you very much, but I swear if you get me out of this, I'll believe in you forever. And this voice comes down and says, Joe, let go. Huh? Joe, let go. Can I get a second opinion on this? And that's what we really have to do a lot of times, is just let go, because there's no other choice. What we're hanging on to is killing us inch by inch. But it's all we can see and all we know, so we don't let go because we don't know what there is to fall into. We don't know what's there for us. If we let go of what we're hanging on to for dear life here, even though it's killing us or beating us to death, moment by moment, inch by inch, we would rather hang on to that and know what's going on than let go and see what might be coming. That's the billions of years of instinct, hanging on to what you know, battling with what you know rather than letting the unknown come. And anytime you see that unknown, you just get paralyzed with fear a lot of times. You go, oh my God, what did I do? I better get back to where I was, even though it wasn't that good. It was something I knew. That's the instincts. That's that genetic memory. But the good news is the very fact that we're here in this flesh. Every living thing that's physically here, whether it's inanimate, life, breathing, conscious or unconscious, aware or self-aware or not aware, there is that vibration of spirit that allows it to exist in this realm. There is that creative force of God and spirit right within our cellular structure, right as close as our own breath. It's not a battle that we have to bring in something that we don't know. It's not a battle we have to bring in something that's unfamiliar with us. It's as close as your own breath, as close as your own heartbeat is where the spirit is. So even though the conscious mind rejects a lot of the spirit, it's right there. It's as natural as our breath. And that's what we have to realize. It's not something we have to shove out the human part of us to be. It's a part of us that is as natural as our breath. And if we start tying into that naturalness of it, it doesn't become such an effort. Suddenly we begin to feel that little urging, that little calmness that's underneath all that emotion. We begin to feel that gentleness that's right there, partnered with that emotional duress. It's just a matter of what we choose to put our mind on, what we're able to put our mind on, what we're not afraid of putting our minds on. I've been studying this discipline, and believe me, when I study something, I study it in detail. And you would think that after 30-something years of consciously practicing this, consciously going through a lot of difficult times in my life, that I wouldn't react like that when something new comes along. But there again, there's the billions of years of genetics right there, right in front, never relenting. As soon as something sudden happens, that's the first thing that steps up. That's the first thing that tries to drive your actions. But as you become more and more trusting of that spirituality, that presence of God, that presence of the higher mindedness within you, it begins to take a hold and it goes, wait a minute. Don't do that. You know better than that. Just hold up a minute. And you stop halfway through starting to do something emotional. You get a chance to stop. And then here comes the instincts again. Oh, you better get on with this. You're about to have something horrible happen to you. And the Spirit comes back in. Take it easy. Relax. Don't do that. It's the old thing, the old cartoon, the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. Kind of interesting, those old cartoons like that. They had it down a lot better than we give them credit for. And that's how it goes on, back and forth, once you start consciously becoming involved in your spiritual work. Most of us don't get connected to that spirituality until mid-30s, mid-40s. You know, when we're younger, we're very, we're not really high-minded. We're hopeful for the world around us, and we're out there wide open, just enjoying life and all its facets, without any really care about why it's there. Just immersing ourselves in it and enjoying it. And we get a little older, and the instincts start kicking in. Hey, you get a little old there. Take it easy. You better start saving for your future. Keep working. Stay at it. Don't go over here and start being involved in something spiritual. You don't have time for that. You need to start saving for the rest of your life. These thoughts just race round and round and round in your mind. And it's up to you what you choose to do with it. Then in comes the rest of the world. People's perception of you. What they think of you, what they think of what you say. And it doesn't matter with some people, whatever you say, it's perceived a specific way that they have viewed you, no matter how much you change, no matter how much your intentions change. That don't require them to change anything. And you have to stop looking for outside validation from people who you had hoped to be able to get along better with. People you had hoped to show, to make amends to that you may have harmed in the past. Well, just because you're ready to make amends don't mean they're ready to accept them or forgive you. I can guarantee you that. You have to be self-aware. You have to be self-defined. When you do what the Spirit tells you to do and other people don't accept it or receive it or even acknowledge it, that's their issue. That's not your issue. Don't allow what other people accept to drive the worth of what you do. Be self-driven. Be driven by the Spirit inside. And all will be borne out in the end. Because as I said in my daily thought, Spirit deals with you in the perspective of eternity. What you accomplish spiritually here will be taken with you to the other side. What you build in homes and bank accounts and personal security for the instincts will not survive the grave. So what do you want to build? A bank for the future or a bank for next week? Both are needed, but there needs to be a priority there. As I've gotten a few years older, I've begun to realize that, and that's why I'm retiring. I've got a really good job. I don't have a lot of need to report to other people. I do a job that they don't really understand that's really critical, it's done right. They pay me very well to do it, and they leave me alone to do it. And when my boss asked me, he said, "Why do you want to retire?" I said, "Well, boss, I'm getting tired of getting up at 4:30 in the morning 5 days a week, getting home at 5:30 in the evening, and driving 2 hours each way to do it." I said, "It's just getting not what I want to do with the bulk of the rest of my life. I see more days behind me than I see in front of me, and I want to enjoy more of them than work." "Well, do you have any money saved?" I said, "I don't care. I'd rather be broke and happy than working every single day, 5 days a week like this." He said, "But it's not a hard job for you. You do it real well." I said, "It's very consuming, mentally and physically. I got good health. I go and I feel really blessed with that. I'm 64 years old, and I go to the doctor, and he's 66, and he goes, "Well, how the heck you do this? I want your blood work. I want your heartbeat. I want your health. How do you do that?" Here's a doctor that's supposed to be advising people on their health, asking me for advice. And that's the other part of spirituality. There's a saying that once you attain what you're seeking, it never seems like it was when you thought about getting it. So we rush at these things, we get them, and we go, big deal. And then we rush on to the next thing. What else can I try to get now? And we miss a lot of the experiences of traveling to get that thing. That's how spirituality works, is you think of something to move towards that you don't have now, either a state of mind or a material gift. And you move towards that, and it's the journey that is the deal, not the attainment of what you're reaching for. It's the effort of stepping outside of those instincts and the cellular memory that tries to hold you in place, that makes you step out and be more than you ever thought you could be. That's the benefit to doing that. That's the key to it, not getting what I'm after, rushing at it, getting a hold of it, and then I'm done. You keep rushing at stuff and getting done, and one day you're going to wake up and go, "Damn, my life's over. What the heck happened? Where's all my memories at? I was rushing at stuff to try to get it all the time." Some of the high points of my spiritual awakening that I can remember came at the oddest times. They were I wasn't even trying for them, and they just happened. I was put into a detox center forcibly by everybody that had a drop of blood in common with me. I used to joke with everybody. I joke with people now. They say, "How about coming out and having a drink?" "I can't. I'm allergic to alcohol." They said, "Wow, what happened?" I said, "I break out in handcuffs every time I drink." Oh, one of those. So it's all that forward motion. And in the detox center, I fought them tooth and nail for it's a 28-day, 4-week program. And it was a lockup type of thing. You couldn't leave if you wanted to. And I went through a lot of stuff in there, boy. And it was wasn't one of these cushy things you see advertised on TV. My fellow inhabitants were hookers from Church Street, crack dealers. A couple of them were drunk, retired sheriffs from the Louisiana bayous. A lot of rough people there. I mean, just as tough as they come. And every morning we used to sit around in this big circle and we'd talk. And for the first 3 weeks, it'd be everybody be going around, oh, I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that, blah, 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 blah. And they'd get to me, what about you, Steve? I said, I ain't a darn bit sorry about nothing I did. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I lived it to the fullest. And by God, I got no regrets about what I did. I said, I'm here just kind of listening, but no regrets, folks. 3 weeks, every time they voted ranking people, who was likely to most likely and least likely. I got least likely out of that character of people every 3 weeks. I had a real attitude, and I didn't get off of it. And then finally, one day, 6 days a week you had to go to these classes. You had to go. 7th day was Sunday. You'd take all day Sunday off if you wanted to, but there was a guy that came in there from AA, and he was running a spirituality talk, and I'd go in there and I'd argue with him. And about the second Sunday I went in there and argued with him. He said, Steve, you need to just get your butt up out of that chair and make room for somebody that's going to change, because you're just occupying space there. Just get up and get out of this class, because I'm not going to spend my time arguing with you. When you're ready, I got something worthwhile telling you. And until then, just get out of the class. Oh, man, that ticked me off. Oh, my gosh. So I stood up and I went back. They had these individual, they didn't have doors on. They weren't allowed to have doors, but they had individual room spaces. And I sat there on my bed and I was so mad that just my ears were burning. And finally, I took a couple breaths, and for about 60 seconds, I heard a rhythm in my head, an old-time gospel tune. I didn't even really recognize what it was. And it was Kumbaya, my Lord. I realized later, I wasn't hearing the words, just this rhythm. And it gave me such a peace in my life that I had not experienced since I was a teenager. I was in my 30s when this happened to me. And until then, I was fighting everything and everybody, every time, every chance I got, at every turn, with every word and every breath, about everything, for 17 years. And when I got that sense of peace in my mind, it caused a shift in me. Within a week, I was most likely to succeed in that group. And what happened to me wasn't that I was perfect from that day on, that I had peace in my life from that day on. I still had a tremendous amount of turmoil, but I had a comparison of what the alternative was. I experienced the alternative in my life, what was there for me. I never knew the alternative before that. And I experienced that alternative. And part of me started seeking it on a regular basis. And I quit drinking from that day forward at 35. Never had another drink. Never took another drug. Still was a piece of work for a while, but I worked at it, and the people around me worked with me. That was one of my spiritual awakenings. Not planned on, not sought after, just I guess what they call that, a perfect storm happened in my life. And I was by no means agreeable or embracing it at all. There's been other spiritual experiences that I've had that's moved me on again. But your life is a series of incidences like that, a little at a time. There's not this, for me anyway, there wasn't this blinding light that shined down on me and said, oh, that's how you do it. And it hadn't worked like that for me. If it works like that for you, God bless you. But it just sure hasn't worked like that for me. Because every stage of spiritual awareness I get, in rushes that cellular memory, in rushes those instincts. And it starts nibbling away at it and wheedling its way back in there until I got problems again. It don't stay at bay. That part of you does not stay quiet. And it even begins to appear to you as a part of your spiritual recovery. It gets real devious, that part of your mind. It refuses to die. It refuses to stay at bay. And what happened to me more recently is it started working on me about being kind to people. Now, I am fairly kind, but it started making me feel guilty about taking the steps I needed to take that Spirit had told me to take to resolve a major issue in my life. And it starts going, well, you know, that's just unkind to do that. And I started thinking, yeah, that really does hurt people's feelings when I do that. But what happened was I stayed in turmoil when I didn't do that. I did not have any peace in my life when I didn't do that. So there's that side of you it's not this diametrically opposed thing anymore. It's starting to wheedle in there. And an exaggerated form of that is, well, I think I'll quit smoking today. Tomorrow, I'll quit eating sweets. Next day, I'm going to quit drinking. And by the time you hit the end of the week, you're in so much turmoil, you're doing it all over again. And there's that side of you. The first thought was, I'll quit smoking. And then it loaded on, well, let's quit eating sweets too. Let's quit drinking. And it just poured it on to you, appearing as something positive in your life. Now, don't get me wrong. The instincts on that side of you have a very important role to play in this life. But they've gotten way too much in charge and way too important. You definitely have to back them off. You don't get rid of them. You can't drive them into complete submission. But you have to recognize a constant vigilance is what you have to have. To recognize when that side's trying to take control of things it shouldn't. Now the other side of that coin is not becoming so spiritual you're no earthly good. Oh, my guides didn't tell me to do this, so I'm not doing anything today. This is how I hear people in the community I'm in sometimes. Oh, yeah, my guides just aren't communicating with me, so I'm not going to do anything at all. Or my guide told me to do this, so I have to do this. Well, it's kind of funny. One guy says, he's doing a lecture, and he goes, if you don't like the hat I'm wearing, blame my guides. Well, who put the hat on? You know? Who put the hat on? There's a balance there. And that's what the humanness of us allows us to do, is strike that balance. That's our responsibility, is to strike that balance between the two. We are the arbitrator between our conscious self and the spiritual self. There is a personality of us that we have to develop to be that arbitrator. You can't become pure spiritual, you can't become pure physical, because neither one works. But you have to be that arbitrator. Your conscious reasoning mind, free will, is what the arbitrator is. You can't blame anybody else because of the decisions you made. You're responsible for everything you do and everything you say, every time you say and do it. Not because they did that, I had to do this. That don't work. Personal responsibility is the cornerstone of the spiritualist faith. You are responsible. Admit why you did it. Accept why you did it and get past it. Don't be bound by it. If it wasn't right or it wasn't quite right, call it what it was. Acknowledge what your part of it is and move by it. Don't try to gloss it over and, oh, well, I really blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you really did. You can't be perfect. You can't be the spiritual person you want to be all the time. And you just acknowledge it. Okay, fine. I didn't quite get it that time. I'll get it next time. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself during this walk. Love what you do. Don't forget the past, but don't be bound by it. Don't ever be bound by the present either. Don't be afraid to step out and move beyond if that's what you feel like doing. I'm going to close today with a little story. Some of you might have heard it before. There's this baby eagle who falls out of his nest into a barnyard. And this mama with her little chicks takes him under her wing and starts raising him as a chicken. And they're walking around the barnyard for months, just scratching and pecking, and he being a perfect chicken, just walking right along with all his brothers and sisters, pecking and scratching. And he looks up one day and he sees these eagles flying, just free as could be in the air around them. And he looks up and he goes, wow, wouldn't it be wonderful to fly like that, free above the earth? And one of his fellow brother chickens looks at him and says, you can't do that. You're a chicken. Just keep scratching and looking at the ground. The moral of that story is you can fly like the eagles or scratch with the chickens. So you choose. Thank you for listening.